Stray is the long-awaited cat-based adventure game that has people purring about it all over the internet. There's a lot of hype surrounding this game, so let's see if it's worth $30. It was released on July 19th, 2022 by Annapurna Interactive, which ironically sounds like a cat food company. The game was developed by a small indie developer, BlueTwelve, which according to the Steam page is a small team from the south of France mostly made up of cats and a handful of humans. In fact, the protagonist, a small orange tabby without a name, was largely inspired by a stray orange tabby that was adopted by the owners of BlueTwelve Studio. His name is Murtaugh, and we love him. Stray is a single-player action-adventure game in which you play as the stray cat attempting to get back to its friends. There is no co-op or multiplayer, not really any combat, and no customization besides the mods people are doing, of course. The story is pretty straightforward. Help the stray cat get back home. Along the way, we meet a few precarious robot friends. Ironically, the cat is the only living creature in the city, yet somehow is the most stoic character amongst very emotional robots. As a cat, your agility, swiftness, and smallness makes you a practical and convenient friend of the robots, especially against the Zurks, the main antagonists. Zurks are disgusting parasitical balls of flesh that try and give you the big suck. The game makes use of your feline functions in many clever ways, such as chaotically catwalking on a keyboard to open a new room. There aren't a lot of downsides to this game, but a few worthy criticisms. Once I completed the game, I did find myself wanting more. Although thoroughly enjoyable, the game's story takes an estimated 5 hours of gameplay. To some, that seems like too little, to others, it's a breath of fresh air. The game as a whole is dense and quality enough to justify it. I do think people were hoping for customization, and other than modding, there really isn't any at all. It makes sense given you are represented as a character in a story, but I'm sure a lot of people were hoping to be able to make their character look like, well, their cat. Additionally, I think the movement mechanics could have been more challenging. The game seemed like it would have had a lot of agility-based challenges. However, you play the game, you quickly realize that all of the ledges and obstacles you can climb on are all predetermined areas which you lock onto. Basically, you move your camera to an object you want to jump onto, press a button, and the cat does the action no problem. I think a lot of people were expecting it to be a little more free-form than that, with a chance of failure. The game did still offer agility-like challenges and some puzzles. Paths aren't all set in stone, and the more open areas of the game you can get around pretty freely, but the jumping is auto-locked and doesn't offer much of a challenge. The game still offers adversity to overcome, like avoiding Zurks. The pros definitely outweigh the cons. The game is beautiful. Not only does it look great, but the areas that you can cat around in are really stellar. Some areas with the cyberpunk, hyper-neon rainy city do feel very familiar, but well done. The game feels pretty immersive. The areas you explore are big enough to explore and give you a feeling of depth, but small enough to familiarize yourself with the area and not get lost. There's no intrusive, ugly user interface that forces you to do your objective either, but the game still gives guidance. There are times where you genuinely feel like a stray cat on a mission, learning and wandering the urban jungle. If there's one thing Stray nailed, it's cat behavior. Obviously, the owners of BlueTwelve are cat lovers, and the game is filled with relatable cat behavior. This is clearly where Stray shines, and it's really kind of the point of the game. It's open enough to wander around and maybe get a little bit lost, get curious and play, but guided enough to keep you on track. The cat's behavior in-game is classic. There's plenty of cat behaviors in the game that will make you say, hey, my cat does that. I played the game on the day it was released, paid with a 10% discount, and loved it. So, is this game worth the $30? I would say yes. It hits that value right on the head, although I may say it's stretching it a bit. The game is rather short, so for that $30, you may end up with as little as 3 hours of gameplay. There are collectibles, you can replay missions, and there is a lot of stuff to simply mess around with, so chances are you aren't going to spend just 3 hours with it. The music is definitely an honorable mention because it is lovely. I feel like this game was full of emotion and really well executed. It's not perfect, but this game definitely has a special place in my heart. If this game looks fun to you or you love cats, I would definitely recommend it and say just go ahead and pay full value for it. I think they did a great job with this game. If I had to sum it up in one word, I would say enjoyable. It's cute, fun, well done, and it worked on release, and I think it delivered on most of what it was promising, so I would say this game is like a 9 out of 10. I'll be putting out plenty more Stray videos, and I have an entire Let's Play series that will be going up, and you can find the videos here on screen now. So go ahead and check out some of these other videos, and I will see you around. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later, gamers.